WWPR FM HD1 New York.
An iHeart radio station.
It's dangerous. It's dangerous.
Everybody come to the Breakfast Club. I call this the hot seat.
Y'all are wild. Can I live?
You are out of control. I can't even deal with you.
Y'all are so petty. Why are y'all so petty?
The world's most dangerous morning show. DJ Envy.
Captain of this bitch.
Angela Yee.
I stay in everybody's business, but in a good way.
Charlamagne the God.
The ruler rubbing you the wrong way.
The Breakfast Club.
Ain't for everybody.
Good morning, USA.
Hey, fam! Happy Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. Good morning, everybody.
That doesn't have the same feel as it's Friday.
Nah, it definitely doesn't. Definitely doesn't. But it's still a Tuesday. It's a great day. I'm still out in Cabos. I'm really enjoying myself. So if you don't know, last week was me and my wife's 20th anniversary. I had a bunch of things planned throughout the whole month, but her mom passed. She didn't want to do anything, so I kind of talked her into at least going to this trip. I just wanted, when she thought of 20 years, I wanted her to think of something positive and not necessarily her mom passing. So she decided to, okay, let's go. And it's been good. It's just been a break from the world for her. So it's been pretty good. I've been enjoying myself. So it's pretty good. It's dope to take Zoom calls when you're talking about the car shows on the beach. Like, that's the coolest thing ever. So that's why I've been here the last couple of days. I'll be here for a couple of more days. And it's good waking up and just having a bathrobe on, chilling.
I mean, you can still get dressed now. Y'all know I was in Turks and Caicos. I'll say this. I kind of should have took off some days because it also sucks to get up early.
You know what?
While you're in this beautiful place and rest and wake up at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock instead of 5.
Yeah, but you know what? I wake up this time anyway. Like, my body is used to getting up. I've been doing it for, I don't even know how long, 17, 18 years. So my body gets up at that time anyway. So I don't even have to set an alarm clock. My body automatically wakes up. So here it's 4 a.m.
I got to set an alarm. I got to snooze
I wake
3
up.
times.
Now I wake up. So it's 4 a.m. here anyway. So by the time...
Jamo said,
Yep.
I know that's right.
By the time the show's over, I can take my nap and I'm out at the beach enjoying. Like, that's who I am. But anyway.
All right. Well, this morning, man, it's crazy. So I had posted a piece of our Chris Rock interview yesterday where he was talking about, getting vaccinated. I thought it was funny. He's a comedian. He's always told funny jokes. People were so upset.
Really?
About his jokes. It's just interesting because it kind of goes along with what he said is that comedians are too safe right now. They feel like you can't say anything. It's getting boring.
Correct, yeah.
Then he makes some jokes about getting vaccinated, which I thought were pretty funny. Whether or not you believe in it, it's jokes. When I tell you people were going crazy in the comments about conspiracies, about people dying from I was like, Lord, you can't even make a joke.
You know what's funny? Shout to Charlamagne. He's running a little late. He said there's traffic on the West Side Highway. That's the highway that gets us around New York City. He said there's a accident or something, so he's backed up a little bit. But what he said yesterday, I don't know if he said it on air or behind the scenes. He was like, everybody has an audience. That is so true when it comes to social media. No matter what it is, if there's a conspiracy, people believe it. If there's a UFO, there's a group of people that's going to say no, or there's a group of people that's going to say yes. Like, no matter what in life, there is a group of people for it. So you just got to just say, all right, whatever, keep it moving.
And I mean, I knew people were going to be upset, but I'm like, guys, damn, you a comedian, can't even just make some funny jokes.
I didn't necessarily see it. But anyway. All right, well, let's get the show cracking. Senator Nina Turner will be joining us this morning. We'll be kicking it with her with everything that's going on. She's about to run for election soon. She has a podcast on the Black Effect Network. So we'll be talking to her about all of that. And what else we got, Yee?
Well, of course, since we're talking about these vaccinations this morning, let's talk about the CDC and their mask guidelines for schools, and also who is going to get rid of these mask mandates starting tomorrow.
All right, we'll get into all that and more. Keep it locked. It's the morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Let's get in some front page news. Where we starting, Yee?
Well, the CDC wants schools to keep the current COVID-19 guidelines, which includes mask wearing and distancing, at least for the remainder of the school year, because most students aren't fully vaccinated. So that is the update, which is interesting because some places you don't have to wear masks at all, but now they're saying all schools, they want you to wear masks. In New York, vaccinated people can get rid of their masks, even indoors, starting tomorrow.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
FYI.
it makes sense. I mean, indoors, I mean, because I always thought it was stupid when you walk into a restaurant, you put your mask on to walk 5 feet to a table, then take it right off. It didn't really make sense to me. Either you keep it, I don't know. I don't know. I'm at a point right now where it's like they change every other day. Even at this resort,
that's how President.
You wear your mask until you go outside, and then by the pool, everybody's together with no mask on. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, now President Biden did say the numbers are down in all the states right now. So that is good news. Mm-hmm. And now California is going to continue to wear their masks for another month, though, until June 15th. That's to give public and businesses time to prepare and to make sure coronavirus cases stay low, according to the state health director in California. All right. Now, this story was interesting. A man committed suicide inside of a Fargo courtroom after he got a guilty verdict. So they had just returned a partial guilty verdict against the man. He had faced stalking-related charges. They said he used a sharp object made out of plastic and basically slit his neck with that object. They said people turned around and you could see the inside of his neck. The jury was not inside the courtroom at the time.
Wow.
And they had found him guilty on at least some of these charges that were against him. But they said the judge, the courtroom staff, and others witnessed the incident.
Wow.
Ouch,
and he was able to sneak that in because usually I guess they don't pat you down.
They said
You just gotta walk
plastic.
through. Yeah, you gotta just walk through metal detectors. Wow.
All right, and
Jeesh.
2 men who were wrongfully convicted of a murder back in 1983 were awarded $75 million by a North Carolina jury. It's 2 black men with intellectual disabilities. They were wrongfully convicted and sentenced to death for the rape and murder of an 11-year-old girl back in 1983. So now an 8-person jury has awarded them their half-brothers, Henry McCullum and Leon Brown. They spent 31 years in jail for a crime they did not commit. So they are each getting $31 million, $1 million for every year that they spent in prison. Also $13 million in punitive damages. And can you imagine? They said it's the highest combined verdict in U.S. history in a wrongful conviction case. And it's the largest ever personal injury award in North Carolina.
That is
But
crazy.
31
How old are they now?
years?
How old are they now?
Let's see. What are their ages now? For more than 37 years. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know their age right now, but I just know that they were both intellectually disabled and they were teenagers when
That's
they
crazy.
signed these confessions that said they did not understand. So if they were teenagers back then, they got to be like 50 in their 50s.
I mean that money can't bring back time, but the sad thing, which we got to change this system somehow, some way, is because that money that they get that they deserve, the taxpayers pay that. But it has to get to a point where the people that make mistakes and the people that actually make them sign these confessions really get hurt on this. Because yes, they deserve the money. They can't get their time back. But the fact that the taxpayers have to pay the money and the people that probably convicted them and prosecuted them, they just walk scot-free. It's not right. That's not right. Like some of that money should come from their pension, come from their salaries, and the people that lied on them and made them sign and coerced them to do that. That should come from their pocket as well.
But think about it. The person who was the actual murderer was free all this time. They actually, in 2014, they found the murderer, Roscoe Artis, and because of DNA evidence.
That's crazy. I'm glad they're out.
All right. Well, that is your front page news. But 31 years since you were teenagers.
That is crazy. Can't bring back that time. Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, hit us up right now. Charlamagne is running a little late. There was a 5-car accident on the way in, so he'll be here shortly. But phone lines are wide open. 800-585-1051. Get it off your chest. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. This is your time to get it off your chest, whether you're mad or blessed.
So you better have the same energy.
We want to hear from you on The Breakfast Club.
Hello, who's this?
This is Shug from Alabama. Good morning.
Alabama, what's up?
Good morning.
Get it off your chest.
I'm tired of working. I'm tired of capitalism. I'm tired of paying bills. I'm just tired of it.
You and me
I
both.
feel you.
When we were kids, we didn't have to worry about none of that. We wanted to be adults so bad when we were kids. Now that I'm an adult, I want to be a kid again, bro.
Man, I just wanted to drink and smoke when I grew up. I ain't know how these bills come with it.
Yeah, listen, you got to pay for that drink and smoke.
I know, man. He know how much Hennessy is down here?
Now, let me ask you this. Are you getting ready for retirement at all, though? Are you saving? Do you have a
Sounds
plan
not.
so that you know in a X amount of years? I'm just wondering because that's something I think about all the time. Okay.
I got a 401k going, but I've been trying to do the crypto thing, but I just been letting the dice roll on it. So
Yeah, me too. I haven't figured it out. I just been letting it die. I've been doing pretty good letting the dice roll a little bit, but you just never know with that, man. But leave the Hennessy alone, brother.
right, appreciate it.
Save you some money. Thank you, brother.
You about to have a drink right now.
Right now. Hello, who's this?
This is Jerry.
Hey, get it off your chest.
So I just wanted to share, I caught the very last bit of your story a minute ago about a man being, or a couple gentlemen being wrongfully convicted and released.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I recently learned about a group called the Innocence Project. It is a national nonprofit company, and they work to help exonerate these people that have been wrongfully convicted. So I just wanted to bring light to that, and anybody that can support that or talk about that, because it's lawyers out here working to find the DNA and evidence and get these people out. And it's hard work. It's years and years of legal battle.
Absolutely.
But it's happening. And then they're also working to try and fix the justice system. I think that that's the biggest problem. How are we going to fix that in the long run? And they're trying to improve that process through, research and everything like that, how to not get these people wrongfully convicted, but at the same time, getting these people out. So when you said that, it just brought that up. I had the pleasure of meeting a gentleman that was wrongly convicted for 24 years, who they helped get out. And he was so excited to get out. They helped him get a new life and get started. He's doing fantastic. We're still in contact with him. It's just, it breaks your heart to see that this is happening in our country.
Yeah, that's your whole life gone, and not just your life, but the people who are close to you who are affected by that. And that's time you can't get back no matter how much money. And think about people who have also been wrongfully executed, right? Where DNA evidence could have exonerated them, but they were on death row. And I just saw in the news this morning in South Carolina, is it North Carolina or South Carolina? South Carolina, I think. South Carolina. They're actually letting you pick a firing squad or the electric chair.
Good old South Carolina.
That's crazy. Well, innocentproject.org is where you need to go if you need more information or you got a family member that's locked up, that's wrongly convicted. Innocentproject.org. And you can also donate because, like you said, their work is pro bono, so they do need help. They do need donations. So you can go there to help somebody out. Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, hit us up now. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
I'm dialing. Hey, what you doing, man? I'm dialing. I'm calling you.
This is your time to get it off your chest, whether you're mad or blessed. 800-585-1051. We want to hear from you on The Breakfast Club.
Hello, who's this?
This is Uber Mike Dallas. What's up, DJ Envy?
Uber Mike, what up, bro? Get it off your chest.
Okay, two things. Charlamagne keeps giving away these free books, and we put a lot of support out there to buy these books, and he keeps giving them away, so I'm mad at that.
Why?
Why I'm mad at that?
Why
Because if I'm spending my money buying the books, I'm thinking, I'm supporting. People just getting them for free. They might as well call a Breakfast Club and get it for free.
Well, listen, I appreciate you supporting Tamika Mallory, State of Emergency, How to Win in the Country We Build is available everywhere now. But, I mean, if somebody calls up and they want one, I'm going to send one out. Why not?
Charlamagne, look up the stimulus stuff, man. They can afford it, man. That's all it.
Yeah, but some people might not be able to. So, I mean, I think the fact that he's giving people some books and maybe people can't afford it is a good thing. He just don't do it for the money.
I'm messing with him, DJ. And the last thing, the person that I feel that can be out of Beyonce, caliber for caliber, sound for sound, would be Janet Jackson.
Yeah, that would be a good versus.
Yeah,
that'd be a great versus. Beyonce versus Janet Jackson would be a phenomenal versus.
That's two different eras.
Man, shut up, Drama.
It's hit for hit, though.
It's music. Snoop and DMX was two different eras.
All right, y'all have a good morning.
Could you hush sometime, young boy? Jesus.
Just got him started up, Drama.
Music is music.
I don't know why he must have pork this morning. He's so upset right now.
Nah, it's not that different of an era. Like the sounds could battle each other. Janet and Beyonce wouldn't be too far fetched.
It's two different eras.
Rihanna and Beyonce are two different eras.
That's not true at all.
Oh, shut up.
Come on.
Hello, who's this?
That's Antoine. What's up, you? Good morning to you. And
good morning.
That lady that just spoke on that piece about the people being wrongfully convicted. Now, I agree with you on the whole thing about convicting somebody, and then guess what? It gets overturned later on, and then the prosecutor and everybody else involved that was responsible for getting the people convicted just walk away, just go on with their life. Well, I have a friend in Atlantic County jail. On February 11th of 2018, he was charged with sexual assault in Atlantic County at the Bally's Hotel. Now, I'm his go-to man, along with my brother out of North Carolina, who is basically schooling him on his case because he don't know the law. I don't even know the law, but my brother, he's smart with the law. So what's happening here, he was charged with raping this hotel lady when it was a consensual sex for money. So to make a long story short, is what happened is he couldn't get into the door of his room. She gave him the master key. The master key didn't work. So he tried another tactic, such as going to get another key or something. And she told him to do this, and he couldn't get back upstairs. She went and told, and everything just fell apart, and he got charged with all these crimes. He's been in there since 2018, never went to trial. He got violations, everything all up in his case. Nothing is put out good for it. Every time he go to court, I think the judge and his lawyer and the DA all working together because his lawyer has evidence that he won't even show him. He won't even show him the body cam whatsoever. And he's sitting in there. We done contacted politicians in D.C., the state of Jersey, and local politicians like the ACLU, the NAACP, whatever we are trying to do, you know what I'm saying, to help bring some light to his case because he's just being railroaded. They really, 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 really want to get him on something that he did not do. And I think it's foul because the DA is doing this and the judge and the DA represent the state. So you know darn well they ain't trying to just let somebody out on bail. The state of Jersey does not release people on sexual assault charges. They don't give no bail or nothing. When I heard you speak about it, I want to chime in and give my opinion about it because right now, to this day, we can't get no help from news media to bring this to light so somebody can chime in and say what the heck is going on with Atlantic County. There's corruption going on down here because he's being done.
You know what's crazy? Yo, that case isn't as cut and dry as like, you know, a lack of DNA evidence because it's really just, you know, her word against his word. Her saying it was him saying it was consensual, her saying it wasn't.
You know, Jersey also, my brother has researched and passed on me that they have the rape shield law. And since you mentioned DNA, you know, what the DNA rule with the state of Jersey is you can't just utilize it the way you want to utilize it and say, here's the rape shield law. No, you have to identify that second DNA and get it in so that there can be an argument. Okay, we have two DNAs. It wasn't just his DNA. What happened was they got his DNA and he admitted to having sex with this woman. But they only took his DNA. They didn't take her DNA. There was multiple DNAs found. And he's still getting effed all around. It's a messed up. The justice system is messed up to a certain extent. It's not built the way that it should be built in fairness.
It was never built to be fair to us though. So it's definitely working the way they intended in most cases.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah, I'm not an attorney, so I couldn't even remotely begin to help you out. Tell him anything.
Yeah. All right. Well, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. We got rumors on the way?
Yes, and YFN Lucci, he has surrendered and he's back behind bars. We'll tell you what happened with him. Also, this whole Flamin' Hot Cheetos story is very interesting because now what is the urban legend of who discovered Flaming Hot Cheetos is under question.
All right. We'll get into that next. Keep it locked. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Let's get to the rumors. Let's talk Frito-Lay.
It's about time. What's going on?
Rumor report. This is the Rumor Report with Angela Yee on The Breakfast Club.
Well, how did these Flaming Hot Cheetos come about? Now, you know, there's a whole biopic that's happening that Eva Longoria is directing, that also Devon Franklin is working on as a producer. Here is what Devon Franklin had to say when he was on The Breakfast Club.
Richard Montanez was a Mexican janitor who worked for Frito-Lay, and he came up with this idea to put chili powder on a Cheeto. And the CEO at the time gave him an opportunity to do it. Next, you know, Flamin' Hot Cheetos becomes the #1 snack in the country, becomes the biggest snack for Frito-Lay. He goes from being the janitor to becoming vice president of multicultural marketing.
Well, according to the LA Times and to Frito-Lay, they are saying that none of our records show that Richard was involved in any capacity in the Flaming Hot test market. We have interviewed multiple personnel who were involved in the test market, and all of them indicate that Richard was not involved in any capacity. That doesn't mean we don't celebrate Richard, but the facts do not support the urban legend. Now, according to the LA Times, it's a woman named Lynn Greenfeld, who was responsible for leading the creation and the rollout of Flaming Hot Cheetos back in 1989. She said she alerted Frito-Lay in 2018 when she got word of Montanez's story that he created the snack. And according to her, she said she was very proud of her work on the snack. She said it's disappointing that 20 years later, someone who played no role in this project would begin to claim our experience as his own and then personally profit from it. So he's also, Montanez has capitalized on this story, and he's been giving speeches. He's been getting up to $50,000 for appearances. He's also written 2 memoirs. Yes, and as you know, this movie is coming out this June. Now, Richard Montanez has spoken out after these claims. He said, I was their greatest ambassador. This is what he told Variety. He said, but I will say this, you're going to love your company more than they will ever love you. Keep that in perspective.
Yeah, I don't know who created what. I'm just happy to finally know what the hell Flamin' Hot powder is made of, because I did not know it was chili powder. I had no idea what the hell Flamin' Hot Cheetos were made of.
That's all you got out of this?
Yes, because I really wanted to
possibly
know. When Devon,
not be telling the truth, we don't know. But don't they have a record of employees that work there?
Well, he did work there. Nobody's saying he didn't work there, But the whole story is that he worked his way up from a janitor to become a marketing executive. And according to him, he's saying Frito-Lay had 5 divisions in that era. He said, I don't know what the other parts of the country, the other divisions, I don't know what they were doing. He said, I'm not going to try to dispute that, lady, because I don't know. All I can tell you is what I did. All I have is my history, what I did in my kitchen. He said he started pitching product ideas in the late 80s when he was working as a janitor. He said Frito-Lay had something called the Method Improvement System. They were looking for ideas. He said that's what inspired him. So I always had these ideas for different flavors and products. The only difference in what I did is I made the product instead of just writing the idea on a piece of paper and sending it in.
Well, who came up with
he said he did pitch the product in person to former Frito-Lay exec, and then in 2 separate meetings.
I think the real selling point is the name. Who came up with Flaming Hot? Flaming Hot to me has always been the selling point, because people look at that and they be like, I bet you can't eat a whole bag of these. So I think it's the name more than anything. How you got people eating an adjective? We didn't even know what the hell Flamin' Hot Cheetos were made out of, what they were. We just was eating an adjective, Flamin' Hot. It's like red velvet is a fabric. Like, what the hell?
I used to love some hot chips, though. Growing up, anything spicy. I like anything spicy.
That's what I'm saying. The name sells it.
All right, now YFN Lucci is back behind bars. He turned himself in on Thursday, and he's being held in the maximum security unit at Fulton County Jail. And so he was indicted, as you know, with 12 others on charges of racketeering, and a warrant was issued for his arrest earlier this month. They said it's unprecedented in Georgia. There's been a huge spike in violent crime. And the DA said, I made a commitment to bring the best and the brightest minds here, many of which you see sitting here right now, so we could deal with this issue of violent crime. Now, YFN Lucci's attorney is saying that Lucci is not a gang member. He said what he is an internationally recognized musical artist that is a triple platinum winner that has performed all over the U.S. and all over the world, and has nothing to do with this.
Well, I hope they don't pull up none of YFN lyrics, Lucci's lyrics, with him talking about being in a gang.
And, he already is facing an unrelated murder charge in connection to the shooting death of 28-year-old James Adams last December. And so he's charged with felony murder, aggravated assault, participation in criminal street gang activity, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony.
Man, that's crazy. I mean, listen, like I always say, sometimes you look at your problems and then you see somebody else's problems, you gonna take yours back. Because you do not want to be in that situation that he's in right now.
Not at all.
All right. Well, that is your rumor report.
All right. Thank you, Miss E. Now we got front page news next. What we talking about?
Yes. And let's talk about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and their taxes. Donald Trump had never revealed what he paid in taxes. So let's find out what our president and vice president have paid. They're going along with tradition and being open and honest about their finances.
All right, we'll get into that next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Your mornings will never be the same.
With the new Audible Plus plan, audiobooks are just the beginning. With Audible Plus, you can listen all you want to thousands of included Audible originals, popular podcasts, and more, all in one place. Sign up for a 30-day free trial at audible.com/breakfastclub.
WWPR-FM HD1 New York.
An iHeartRadio station.
Let me put a little bit of the Breakfast Club up in your lifestyle. DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Where we starting, Yee?
Well, according to the World Health Organization, working long hours is killing hundreds of thousands of people a year because of stroke and heart disease. They've done a global analysis of the link between loss of life and health and working long hours, and they've estimated that about 745,000 people have died as a result of working at least 55 hours a week in 2016.
So what they going to do? They going to cut people's hours? People have been trying to tell bosses that forever, too. You're working me to death. That's very true.
Yeah, they said it could be psychological stress from working those long hours, which generates a physiological response, which triggers reactions to the cardiovascular system and lesions that can cause a change in tissue. Also, health-harming behavior in response to stress like smoking, drinking, poor diet, physical inactivity, impaired sleep, poor recovery, all of those are risk factors.
Yeah, especially if you're doing something that you hate. Like if you're waking up and you go into a job every day that you don't like the people that you work with, you killing yourself.
We need nap time. I think we need to bring nap time back.
Who don't take naps?
No, I mean in the middle of your workday. You know, you just go and you take an hour just to nap. Like I miss nap time as a kid.
I take naps now. Are you crazy? Especially if I got to do something
I
later
never
on.
nap during the day.
I nap all the time.
All the time.
I nap all the time.
All the time.
All right, now airlines could soon start weighing passengers before a flight, and that's
weighing passengers.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I don't
they want
think you
to ensure
have to weigh
safety on board planes, and they're saying that data that they use to measure that is becoming outdated as obesity rates rise in the United States. So now they have to update average passenger weight. So under these new requirements, they said airlines will be mandated to take surveys to set standard average passenger weights for crew members, baggage, and passengers. And that's going to happen through random sampling. So regardless of, you have the option, by the way, if they want to weigh you, to say no. If you decline to participate, then they have to select another traveler at random. So this is all conducted on a voluntary basis.
Well, don't
and
weigh
it's all
people.
confidential.
Yeah, don't weigh people. Just have Kevin Samuels stand there and tell people if they look too heavy to be on the flight. That's all.
Ooh, all right, now let's talk about money. I told you all your taxes were due yesterday. Well, let's talk about Joe Biden and their taxes. So jointly, they earned $607,000 in 2020, and they gave about 5% of their income to charity. And so that means their federal tax bill was lowered to $157,000 and then $29,000 in Delaware taxes. Now, Vice President Kamala Harris and her husband made about $1.7 million in income, and her husband is a high-profile attorney, so most of that income was from him as a partner. Kamala Harris, as a senator, got a much smaller salary, and they paid $620,000 in federal income taxes, which is about 36.7%.
Yeah. How much Doug bringing in then? So Doug must be bringing in like $1 million something a year? Something like that?
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
So yeah, in case you are wondering how much they make and how much they paid in taxes, that information is available. All right, and that is your front page news.
All right. Well, thank you, Miss C. Let me shout out to our newest family member, 95.7 The Beat, Tampa Bay's #1 for hip hop and R&B.
Drop one of
and
clues
now
for
the Breakfast Club.
What do they
Shout
call
out to
Tampa? They let's call it what, Champa Bay because they the Super Bowl champs.
Yeah.
I think I saw that somewhere.
Yep, Super Bowl champs. Yeah. So
Okay.
shout out to Tampa Bay. Let me shout out to the Cigar Lounge out there. Also 7th and Grove. Those are some restaurants and some spots that I frequent to when I go to Tampa. So shout out to all my family out at Tampa, and welcome to the family, man.
Yeah, man. Welcome to the club.
I won some good money in Tampa before at the Hard Rock. I remember I went out there, I gambled. That was a good night for me. I haven't gambled in a minute.
Okay.
Well, welcome to the club, Tampa.
Yeah, shout out to Tampa. Now, when we come back, we have former Senator Nina Turner joining us this morning.
She's one of our leaders. She's running for Congress. She's running for Congress this year in Ohio. I think it's a seat in Ohio open, and she's running for that. She also has a podcast on the Black Effect iHeartRadio podcast network called Hello Somebody. And she's just one of my favorite people to build with at all times.
All right, and we're going to talk to her when we come back. So don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We have a special guest. She's family to the room.
That's
Miss
right.
Nina Turner. Welcome back.
Hey, DJ. Good to be here.
Senator Nina Turner.
Senator Nina Turner. That is right.
And she's running. You're running for Congress right now.
I am running.
Well, tell us the importance of that.
I feel like I've been campaigning for forever.
Yeah.
You guys know.
Yeah.
Every time I'm in. But the significance, this is a very important moment in our country's history, and to be able to have this opportunity, something that I didn't necessarily see coming in this moment, but the former Congresswoman is now Secretary of HUD, which is a beautiful thing. And so for me to be able to continue my service to my constituents in this way, or to at least have the opportunity to compete to do so, is a beautiful thing. I have the courage to ask for more. And there's a whole bunch of people suffering in my district, this state, and this nation, and they need leaders like me who have the courage to ask for more.
That's right.
So what you've seen so far with the first 100 days plus with Joe Biden, what are your thoughts?
Moving in the right direction, but when you're moving in the right direction, you got to keep going there. So the COVID relief bill was something that was definitely needed without a doubt. There are provisions in the COVID relief bill, that $1.9 trillion that addresses childhood poverty, which is good. It cuts childhood poverty, by example, in half. More money to state and local governments, really, really good. But we got to keep going. The $15 an hour minimum wage did not make it. So we got more work that we have to do, because before the pandemic, people were catching hell. And that hell is only being exacerbated now because of COVID. So we got to have the courage to go beyond, not get back to normal, because normal for a whole bunch of people was not good.
That's right. That's right. I didn't ask you how are you, Miss Turner? And I need an honest answer. I need an honest answer, because none of us are the same. Because of the pandemic. But how are you?
I'm glad you asked me that, and I follow you on the gram, and I love the encouragement that you give people. I got my days like everybody else. I have days when I'm up and days when I'm down, days when I say, "What am I doing?" But through it all, what you're saying, blessed, black, and highly favored.
That's right.
I keep that to center me on a regular basis, but I have to meditate and exercise, and I like to box, and I envision a whole bunch of folks on that bag. And I hula hoop. Angela, I hula hoop. I got a weighted hula hoop. I can work that sucker too.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
I have one of those too. I got to start using that again. I got that, and I got a jump rope. I try to have all kinds of things that I don't use.
As well. Yeah, I know, right? But it's hard. I'm going to tell you that. It's really hard, because, when you're trying to do good, and that doesn't make me perfect, but nobody working on this earth is perfect. You bump up against stuff, and it can weigh you down a little bit. Yeah.
Let me ask you about the pandemic, since you mentioned that, right? And we're talking about the CDC and their new guidelines, and people are very confused. What are your thoughts on what the CDC is saying? You think it's confusing and too soon for people to not have to wear masks if they've been vaccinated indoors and outdoors?
Yes and yes. And the National Nurses United have come out and trust nurses, baby. If you're going to trust anybody, trust the nurses. And they said that this is too soon, and that we're putting a lot of frontline essential workers, especially in healthcare, but not exclusively, in danger. As of January 2021, over, I think, 1.3 million people in this country have died from COVID. Now, that was in January. I know the numbers are up, and disproportionately, they have been black and brown.
Wow.
So, yes, Angela, I do think it is too soon. And if I have to choose between the CDC and the nurses, I'm going with team nurses.
I mean, I call you one of my leaders because you speak truth to power. And when I hear you speak truth to power, I wonder, why is it so hard for politicians to simply tell the truth? Like, when you're posed with a question like, is America a racist country?
Yeah.
Why can't you just speak the truth to power on the history of the country?
Why can't we? I mean, the data is very clear. Data and lived experiences. The data shows that the African American community in particular is, catching... Hell is traumatic.
That's right.
Right. So from the economy to policing to highway systems. So yes, racism exists in America. It is prevalent, and it is also persistent. I read an article where 67%, I think they said doctors, they could have said the medical profession, so forgive me if I don't have that exactly right, but have admitted to having some type of bias against African Americans. And when we look at the maternal death rates of black mothers and childbirth, and even two prominent women in our community like Beyonce and Serena Williams both talked about not being believed during childbirth. And so if it happens to two magnanimous extraordinarily successful black women. Think about other black women who live in the hood and misunderstood.
That's right.
So it is prevalent and it is persistent. But just because that is our reality doesn't mean it has to be our future.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to do a new thing on purpose. Just as racism and anti-blackness and white supremacy is on purpose. Let's talk a little bit, if we can, about Black Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
The massacre. It's been 100 years. May 31st, it will be 100 years.
Right.
And Mother Fletcher, who's still alive, she's 107 years old. What are we going to do for her while she's still alive and her descendants and the descendants of others? Where a white mob came into the Greenwood area and burned down businesses and residences and killed black people. And they were deputized by people in elected office. So, yes, racism is alive and well in America. Again, it is our reality now. It doesn't have to be our future.
So why is it hard for politicians just to tell the truth and say that?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
You know, we got to tell the good, the bad, and the ugly.
That's right. How would your role as Congresswoman be different than what you were doing as Senator?
You know what? It's somewhat the same, Char. It is. It's service of people. That certainly the territory that I would represent would increase. Half of my Senate district is part of the 11th Congressional District, and it is portions of Greater Cleveland and also Greater Akron. I can't leave out my Akron folks. And so, but the service is the same. Standing up, wanting to change people's material conditions, caring what other people eat, what type of jobs that they have, you know, what kind of communities are they living in. And I would also say, now it's not just a state focus. When you are in Congress, you have your district, you have the state, national, and then also international. But my opportunity agenda is still the same, just really fighting and pushing for the people.
Could you expound on that a little bit? How does like having a congressional seat in Ohio impact America?
Yeah, because when you take a vote in Congress, it is very rare that you are voting for just things that impact your district. You are voting for things that impact the entire nation, and in some cases, depending on what it is, the world. And let's take healthcare, for example. That is something that I believe that the residents of my district need. As you all know, I've been on the front lines of that for a very long time. But it's not just my district and my state. It's the United States of America needs that. So that's just one example. Education policy, policing. You know we got the George Floyd Policing Act and the Congressman John Lewis Voting Rights Act. So all of those things, those are just a couple of examples of many that you are not just focused in on your district. You are focused in on the state that you are elected from too, and also the nation, and in many cases, the world.
All right, we got more with Senator Nina Turner. When we come back, don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We're still kicking it with Senator Nina Turner. Charlamagne?
Why aren't Democrats raising more hell about these bills that are coming out that are simply trying to take the vote away from black people, as if that won't impact elections 2022, 2024 for years to come?
That's right. And some are, but I think our collective hair needs to be on fire because we have politicians and state legislatures trying to take us back. It happened in my state legislature when I was there, and it's happening now. You know, experts are saying that Ohio's law, a bill that's pending right now, is going to be worse than Georgia's. They want 2 IDs. They want to limit the drop boxes,
Yeah,
etc.
how are they doing this? I'm confused. Florida, like how are they doing this now and people are allowing it?
Because, I mean, the levers of power, it does matter who we elect. And I think, although Congress, we should pay attention to Congress, we should pay attention to who we elect to be president, but state legislatures matter too. There are 361 bills percolating through state legislatures right now in about 47 states that will upend what will happen, as you said, Shar, not just in 2022, but beyond. And so we have to refocus. Why can't we care about the Congress and the presidency and also state legislatures? They're being controlled by these right-wing Republicans who, because they can't flat out win, because the dynamics of this country is changing.
That's right.
The demographics are changing. They flat out cheat. And that's
now
exactly
you said 2
what
IDs? You said they're requiring 2 IDs?
Yeah, DJ. Now it's pending. It hasn't passed. But yeah, in Ohio, 2 IDs. They want to take away the drop boxes or limit the hours. For example, so if the Board of Elections is open from 8:30 to 4:30, for example, they want the drop boxes to only be available from 8:30 to 4:30. That defeats the purpose of having the box. So again, our fundamental rights are being assaulted, and we need to help our people connect the dots. And that's why I'm so glad that you all on the Breakfast Club, you have these conversations, because these things are not going to change just because politicians say so. They're going to change because the people say so.
That's right. I've noticed a lot of people, especially online, they get upset when they hear people saying that Joe Biden actually has gotten things done in the first 100 days because they don't feel like anything has been done specifically for black people. What do you say to that?
Yeah, things are being done from a global perspective. See, both of these things can be true. It can be true that things are being done within the 100 days. But and also think about, it's just 100 days. Somebody, smart person thought, oh, let's judge it by 100 days. Well, we got 100 days. We're going to have 100 more and 100 more and 100 more. Let's measure that based on the days to come and not just the 100 days. But absolutely, the African-American community deserves directly some stuff to happen for us, because African-Americans overwhelmingly did this.
Oh, 100%.
Did it. And also in Georgia, too. So just because at 100 days, there are another 100 days, let's make our demands and put them out on the table. But African-Americans definitely deserve, and I believe that we deserve reparations. I penned an op-ed with our dear sister, Erica Alexander.
Erica!
Yes,
Love
who I
Queen
call
Erica.
Alex the Great. That's my nickname for her. And we wrote an op-ed that was in the USA Today about a month and a half ago that talked about the different forms that repayment of a damage that has been done to American descendants of slaves. That has to happen, and that is a direct paycheck and some other things that programmatically can be done.
Why does it seem like Republicans are more sincere with their lies than Democrats are about their truth?
Ooh, Republicans are shameless, though. Some of them. I don't want to lump them all, but especially on the federal level and the state level, too. I think locally it just depends, what's going on. But they're very resilient in what they push for, and they are not ashamed to push for it. They go all in all the time. And Democrats don't necessarily do that. And we got to start to do that.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, why are we always compromising?
I have no idea, especially when, you don't start a negotiation with the compromising position. You start for what you really want, and then maybe you'll get there. But we just definitely have to be bold, especially because the American people gave the Democratic Party, my party, the levers of power, the presidency, the U.S. Senate, and help Democrats maintain the House of Representatives. So that, to me, is a memo. Go bold, go big, change material conditions in people's lives.
You think Biden's not bold enough right now?
In some ways, he's getting there. Again, I believe he's going in the right direction. I'll give you an example, Angela. Now, there are governors in states, including mine, who have decided that they want to cut the unemployment benefits because, poor people don't want to go work at jobs that's not paying them enough money or doesn't allow them to be able to afford child care, if, for example, if they have children. And these governors are just saying, we're going to force people to go back to work, to jobs that don't fulfill them, edify them economically or any other way. Now, we need the president to come out and go ham on these people, because it is a travesty that anybody would talk about poor people in that way and just assume that people are getting so much enrichment that they don't want to go back to work.
Yeah, that reminds me of Ronald Reagan's, what did he used to call black people back in the day?
The welfare mothers.
Yes. Welfare queens or something like that. Yeah.
I don't know about you all, but I've never met anybody who said, you know what, this poor life is all comfy. I'm glad to be food insecure.
Nobody else.
And then even as far as who was receiving welfare, right? It wasn't necessarily that it was black women.
That's right.
That were getting rich off of welfare. Even statistically, that's not who was the highest people getting welfare.
That's it. Listen, so never let the truth get in the way of a good story. No, it was mainly our white sisters and brothers, and that's okay. People got needs. They got needs. I mean, remember Dr. King, before he was assassinated, it was the Poor People's Movement.
That's right.
Peoples, plural of all identities. And we have Dr. William Barber, who's carrying on that tradition.
Right.
In the 80s, Reverend Jackson came with the Rainbow Coalition. That means all of God's children from all identities banding together who are poor, are working poor, and the barely middle class to say that we need a new thing. So, yeah, poor ain't nobody jumping up. Being poor is hard. It kills you.
That's right.
It can kill you.
Do you think you could be an activist and a politician at the same time effectively?
Ooh, we gonna find out. Oh my God, Angela, that is such a good question because I'm trying to wrap my mind around. In college, I was an activist. I didn't necessarily consider myself an activist, but I think by today's standards, based on the work that I did, I would be considered an activist. And then I went into politics, and then I got my activism groove back on for the last 6-7 years. And now it's my goal to get back into the active elected ministry. And we will see. I think sometimes those things do collide at times. But that's no different than other things that collide.
Right.
All right, we got more with Senator Nina Turner. When we come back, don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We're still kicking it with Senator Nina Turner. Charlamagne?
I want to ask you about the George Floyd Policing Act. Is it worth passing if qualified immunity is not abolished? Like, is that something that Democrats should compromise on?
Qualified immunity must go. Part of me wants to say yes, pass it, and then
break that down for people that don't know what qualified immunity is. I'm sure there's people listening, but what does that mean?
The framing that if you are a government official, and especially in law enforcement, that you're held to a different standard. You get to get away with you're wrong. You're not judged in the same way as a civilian would if something happens that is tragic, and i.e. Shooting an unarmed person. It is a protection that is given particularly to law enforcement that protects bad police officers. And we have to do something about it. So, Char, you asked me, part of me says pass it and work on qualified immunity on the other end. But another side of me says if we don't make that demand right now and get it into the bill, the likelihood that it is ever going to be abolished is not going to happen.
Yeah, because I don't want them to do no symbolic, we got the bill passed on the anniversary of George Floyd.
That's right.
And that's all it is symbolic. Like, what is in it that's going to actually stop police from killing us?
Yeah. We got to go all the way. But I'm just saying, I know how some people might say, well, just get what we can get. Well, we've been taking what we can.
That's right.
It's time to make a demand. And that's, again, I'm running on the courage to ask for more. And black people need this. And this nation needs this too. And when you have bad police officers or just bad systems, it's bad for the people who work in those professions, and it makes law enforcement less safe when there's no trust and no accountability. We need more people in law enforcement who actually work in law enforcement to call out their own.
That's right.
Last week we had a conversation about gun control also, and I wanted to get your thoughts on that, where you were talking about Texas and how now you don't have to get like a mental health check, a lot of things that you don't have to do. You just have to be a certain age and you can go and purchase a gun. What are your thoughts on those less restrictions?
Yeah, it's insanity. I mean, we got to have some balances, some measures, some rules. I mean, even when you get a car, the car has to be registered. You got to take a test to get a driver's license. They can track us based on that driver's license. And when I say track, I don't mean that in a bad way. So why doesn't that qualify? Why owning a weapon should be even more so? Because it is a weapon and it can do a whole lot of harm. And those who are responsible gun owners should join in the movement to make sure that guns are not in the hands of people that shouldn't be. Can you imagine the activist community and also legal gun owners coming together to fight for gun sense laws? Be a beautiful thing.
Gun sense. We on a lot of stations in Ohio, so for people listening, what is Nina Turner's immediate agenda for the people in Ohio?
First of all, equity within the COVID relief. I do believe that we should be giving $2,000 right now a month to people. That $1,400, while it was good-ish, it was already spent. For a lot of people, the electric bill was due, the gas bill was due, the car note was due, groceries due, all of that stuff. It was spent. And we're not out of the woods yet. And I think people don't get that. See, my proximity to pain is fully intact.
That's right.
I was a part of the poor, the working poor, and the barely middle class. I understand what it feels like to be food insecure, or how we would say it in my neighborhood, just flat out hungry. I was reading an article this morning. It came out from the Dayton Daily News in Ohio, where the fastest growing jobs in Ohio from now through 2028 are jobs that pay less than $15 an hour. Food worker, retail workers, the fastest growing jobs. And so just think about the economic inequality that is breeding through those data points. So to me, it is making sure that people have what they need. And why is it that we believe that poor people shouldn't be able to smell the roses or the tulips every now and then, buy a certified used car every now and then, be able to take a vacation even if it's within the United States of America? We have a paradigm in this country that if you are poor, your life don't matter.
Yeah.
You should work 2 and 3 and 4 jobs, string all those jobs together. And if you have children, you might not have time to spend with them. And you talk a lot about the mentals. If you are always on like that just to survive, when do you get a time for you? So I am fighting for a quality of life. It's an opportunity agenda that includes Medicare for all, increasing the minimum wage, canceling student debt, by the way, which is a racial justice issue too, because black women carry the largest amount of student debt. Hello, somebody on that. I want people to live. You know, I come from a faith tradition that says that I came that you might have life. That's Jesus talking. Oof. And that you might have that life more abundantly. That's why Sister Turner is running. Or in the words of Congresswoman Barbara Jordan, what the people want is simple. They want an America as good as its promise. I got the courage to ask for more.
Yeah, I don't understand why there's any poor people in America.
I know. And the working poor, how does that?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah.
In a country when a guy can have $160 billion, or even just the money we spend in taxes. I feel like the money we spend in taxes per year should be able to keep people, you know, with something in their pocket where they can just live.
But you know what's foul about that is you look at it, right? You see all these rich companies and rich people paying $750 for taxes. You see paying no tax. But then you look at a middle class person and you're saying they're paying 30%, 25%. And that doesn't make sense. So like, where's the fairness? And how do you expect a minority to ever catch up when you're not taxing the rich or they're getting through loopholes like crazy?
That's right.
And people that's trying to struggle and trying to be the first time earners in their family can't get a break at all.
There's an organization called Patriotic Millionaires that I want the Breakfast Club family to check them out. And what they are a group of millionaires who are saying, tax us, please, because the system is rotten to the core. It is wrong. 3 white men control more wealth than 160 million people combined.
That's insane.
And that's Gates, that's Bezos, and that's Zuckerberg. What does that say? It says that this is systemic. So systemic problems require systemic solutions. It is rotten. I feel as though we're back in the Gilded Age where wealth was run amok and the gulf between the poor and those who had everything was wide. We are right back at that moment right now. But guess what happened after the Gilded Age?
What happened?
The progressive movement.
Okay.
And that's what we're doing right now, baby. Moving to make some progress with the 21st century version that has racial justice weaved into it too.
Absolutely. Well, how can people donate to your campaign?
Please, family, Breakfast Club family, Sister Turner needs you. You can go to NinaTurner.com. That is NinaTurner.com. Time, talent, treasure. You can make phone calls or text bank from your home. You can donate. As I said, the average donation is $27. We'll take $3. We'll take $1. It all adds up because my campaign, or this campaign, I want to say our campaign because it's a people power campaign. And because of the level of grassroots donations we are receiving, the only special interest I'll have to answer to is the people.
The people.
There you go.
Yeah, I donate to Senator Nina Turner.
Yes, you did, Charlamagne.
I don't know much about politics, but I know good people. And Senator Nina Turner is absolutely a great human.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So are you, and you, DJ, and you, Angela, too. And I just appreciate the love. I do feel very much a part of the Breakfast Club family. I love you guys.
Yeah,
and
appreciate you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. It's
I'm
Senator
going to make my
When's the
donation
election?
right
When's the
now
election,
while I'm sitting here.
Oh, the election. So the election day is August the 3rd. Early vote begins on July the 7th.
July 7th.
Yes, early vote. Absolutely.
Okay.
So you can start early voting now for Senator Nina Turner. And make sure you subscribe to the Hello Somebody podcast on the Black Effect iHeartRadio podcast network to get this free jewelry in your life every week, please.
Get that. There's no effect like the Black Effect, baby. Many people attempt it, but black.
Hey.
There you go. All right. Well, it's Senator Nina Turner. It's the Breakfast Club. Thank you. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get to the rumors. Let's talk Wendy Williams.
It's time.
She's spilling the tea. This is the Rumor Report with Angela Yee on the Breakfast Club.
Well, Wendy Williams was giving Nicki Minaj her props. And even though previously she hasn't had the nicest things to say about Nicki, now she is turning it around. And here's what she said on her show about Nick.
But Nicki, to me, is definitely an icon and definitely a legend. She's done things that these young girls haven't even touched, even though they have hit music. But Nicki is different than the rest.
I mean, Nikki is a great example of why going away sometime is the best thing for you. You know, you make people miss you and appreciate you more in your absence. I mean, Wendy didn't tell a lie, but I don't think that was ever up for debate, was it? Regardless of how anyone feels about Nikki personally, you can't deny what she's done for the coaches. She's absolutely an icon, right?
Yes, she is. Yeah.
All right, Nicki Minaj responded, "You are an icon and legend as well" at Wendy's show. Who's that?
Drama.
All right.
What?
And congratulations to Ariana Grande and Dalton Gomez. They have gotten married in an intimate ceremony at their home over the weekend. And according to Ariana Grande's rep, they confirmed to People magazine they got married. It was tiny and intimate, less than 20 people. The room was so happy and full of love. The couple and both families couldn't be happier.
Who's the boyfriend? What's his name? Well, who's the husband now?
His name is Dalton Gomez. He's a realtor. He's a buyer's agent for a luxury real estate company called Aaron Kirkman Group.
Yeah, he sounds like he's a member of the Addams family. Last name Gomez. Congratulations, though.
All right. Well, yes. Congratulations to the two of them. All right. And Kim Kardashian bought Janet Jackson's custom outfit from her If music video. She paid $25,000 for it. And she went on her Instagram stories to wish Janet Jackson a happy birthday. And she revealed that she did win that auction to get that 1993 outfit from the If music video. She said, "For Janet Jackson's birthday, because I'm such a fan, I can't believe I won this on Julian's auctions."
Yeah, I was just debating with Dramos in here because he was saying that Rihanna would watch Janet Jackson in the verses and was saying that nobody cares about Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson music is dated. I literally just told him, I said, "Do you know people still dress as Janet for Halloween?" And then here go ye reporting this story. Kim Kardashian buying one of Janet's old outfits. You talking about an icon.
Dramos, you're a hater.
And you've always been a liar.
He's not a liar. He's just
You're
young.
a damn liar. You're making things up.
Hater, Dramos.
That wasn't even the conversation. It was comparison. It was a versus that was
respect
Janet
the icons and legends, Dramos.
Do y'all mind if I finish? Because I want to let you guys know the reason Janet is auctioning off these personal belongings is she is raising money for charity. So a percentage of that money goes to Compassion International. It's an organization that helps the overall development of children living in poverty worldwide. So she's been auctioning off a lot of different things. Now, since y'all brought up Rihanna, Rihanna is reportedly getting ready to put out her 9th album, and she's been lining up her video shoot in LA. She's teaming up with British director Raja Verdi to film that video for her next album. That's her first in more than 5 years. They said she's been secretly working on new music for a long time, and this album has finally come together, according to The Sun.
I want a big rollout. I want a massive rollout for Rihanna. I really appreciated J. Cole's rollout. I don't want no surprise album. I want a nice 2-week huge rollout for Rihanna.
Riri don't need it, though. They've been waiting for
she
Rihanna
don't need
music
it, but
so
she deserves
long.
it.
She could just drop Friday and it'll go crazy.
She don't need it, but she deserves it. I don't like us acting like music is disposable. Like, let's have the big rollout. Let's have some anticipation.
All right, and Snoop Dogg, his daughter, Corey Brodus, has revealed that she tried to take her own life as she is spreading awareness about mental health. Here's what she had to say via Instagram.
You're fat, you're ugly, you're dark, you're this, you're that. And I used to cry, cry. At 13, I was ready to die. Just so sad, crying to my mom, Mom, I'm so ugly. Why did you have me? Why do I look like this? Why don't I look like my brothers? Why? It was just so many why. So just because you have money and just because you're able to do certain things that people can't do, it doesn't mean you don't have a heart, you don't have a mind, you don't have a soul. I go through it just like everybody else.
That's heartbreaking, man. That's why you have to get social, emotional learning and mental health literacy in grade schools. Kids need therapists early. They need people to talk to. I would hate to grow up in this era where everything is on social media. You got to go through puberty. You got to go through all your awkward phases via social media. Any mistake you make becomes your whole identity because of social media. You ever stop to think we laugh at memes of funny looking people or videos of kids doing dumb stuff, but those are actual people who have to live with that and the impact that probably has on their mental health?
And as a parent, what do you do? Do you say, no, you can't get on social media? I know a lot of people allow their kids on social media at certain ages. I didn't allow my kids on social media to 16, but, it's, what do you do? Because they're exposed to all of this, and we were never exposed. The pimple, I had pimples, I had, buck teeth, I've been called everything from 4 eyes to metal mouth to everything, but I couldn't imagine that being times 100 on social media.
Yeah, man.
All right, and Taraji has launched a campaign to help Black students fight mental health struggles and racism. And so it's called the Unspoken Curriculum. It's a 6-week program that's designed to help Black children identify racial bias at school and speak openly about mental health.
Yeah, salute to Taraji and Tracy. They're doing great work at the Boris Lawrence Henson Foundation. Drop on the clues bombs for Taraji P. Henson and Tracy Jade. They are truly helping to eradicate the stigma around mental health with their foundation and all their work. So salute to them.
That program runs from May 17th until June 21st, and that will include discussions with mental health experts, virtual hangout spaces moderated by therapists and educators, where students can speak openly about mental health and their experiences in school. All right, and that is your rumor report.
All right, thank you, Miss Yee. Charlamagne, who you giving that donkey to?
Listen, I promise I do not wake up and I say, you know what, Florida, come to the front of the congregation. We like to have a word with you. But these Florida stories just be too good to be true. I just can't avoid them. So there's a guy named Anthony Woody, okay, emphasis on the Woody, who needs to come to the front of the congregation. We like to have a word with him.
All right, we'll get back to the donkey today. Next, it's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Your mornings will never be the same.
Angela Yee here, and did you know that the General Insurance has been saving people money for nearly 60 years? That's a long time. So if you want the quality coverage you deserve at prices you can afford, check out The General. 800-GENERAL or visit thegeneral.com. Some restrictions apply.
WWPR-FM HD1 New York.
An iHeartRadio station.
Let me put a little bit of The Breakfast Club up in your lifestyle. DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God.
You all rocking with the best.
Just make sure you tell them to watch out for Florida, man.
The craziest people in America come from the Bronx and all of Florida. Yes, you are a donkey.
A Florida man attacked an ATM for a very strange reason. It gave him too much money. Florida man is arrested after deputies say he rigged the door to his home in an attempt to electrocute his pregnant wife. Police arrested an Orlando man for attacking a flamingo.
The Breakfast Club, bitches. Donkey of the day with Charlamagne the God. I don't know why y'all keep letting him get y'all like this.
Well, Duval, we coming right to Jacksonville this morning, okay? Donkey of the day for Tuesday, May 18th goes to a 33-year-old Florida man named Anthony Eugene Woody. He is 33 years old and hails from Orange Park, Florida, which is a suburb in Jacksonville. Salute to everybody who listens to us on 93.3 The Beat in Jacksonville. Dropping the clues bombs for the Ville. Now, what does your Uncle Charla always say about the great state of Florida? The craziest people in America come from the Bronx and all of Florida. I don't want y'all to think that I come in here looking for Florida stories. That is simply not the case, okay? These Florida stories come looking for me. See, in certain stories I read about Florida, and I'm convinced that folks in Florida aren't even attempting to conceal their crazy anymore. Hell no. They wide open with it, and Anthony Woody is no exception, okay? This man is hiding in plain sight. Because, see, he just pled guilty to a federal charge of advertising images depicting the sexual abuse of children for sale on the internet. I don't even feel comfortable calling this man by his last name anymore. You can't be a pervert who's into child porn, who's into watching children be sexually abused on the internet, and your last name is Woody. What type of sicko did the devil design you to be? This is like that courtroom scene in Devil's Advocate where the little girl is describing what her abuser did to her, and the guy on trial for the abuse is sitting in the courtroom getting an erection, R.A. Woody, as she's talking. But even though his last name is sick, especially for the crimes he pled guilty to, it's not like he could choose his last name. He was born into it, probably comes from a long line of perverted slave owners who all got Woodies watching children get abused. I don't even want to detail this because it makes my skin crawl, but back in 2019, the FBI discovered that an online user was using a particular social media application to offer child sex abuse images for sale on the internet. The Clay County Sheriff's Office received a cyber tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children that someone with a very guilty username was committing these crimes on. Let's go to Action News Jacksonville for the report, please.
County man who investigators say is part of a group that shares child porn online is under arrest.
Clay County deputies and the FBI say he was sending and receiving child porn from a man in Boston.
Anthony Woody was arrested on child porn charges. Investigators with the FBI and Clay County Sheriff's Office say the 31-year-old was part of a group that shared graphic sexual images of children. Woody was later arrested at work, where detectives say they found numerous images of children being sexually exploited.
Now, that news report didn't tell you the best, or should I say worst part of this story. And the worst part of this story was that this dude got jammed up because there was a big red flag in his username. If you are under investigation for selling child porn, one of the fastest ways to get discovered is to have the username I'm so freaky. I think this is worse than Butt F for 3000 due to the circumstances of the situation. This dude was selling child sex abuse images on the internet, and his username was I'm so freaky with 2 O's and 2 Y's. Florida, y'all just don't give a damn no more, huh? Y'all ain't got time to be discreet or to be hiding anything, huh? Y'all outside with it. Imagine being charged with a hate crime against black people and your username was niggas need to die 78. How do you not plead guilty when you got a username like that? It's like either you a pervert to the highest degree, which is obvious in this case, or you really like the record on cam by Young Blue and Moneybagg Yo. Remember when people were doing the I'm Too Freaky challenge to that record? Remember that? Remember this? Remember this? Remember this challenge on TikTok? Huh? You don't? You don't remember they were doing that challenge on TikTok? Me neither. I'm old, but it happened, okay? I bet you can't do this challenge the same after hearing this story. I think this guy should be charged based on the amount of Y's and O's in his name. Okay, he's got 2 Y's in his name. And according to the Hay chart, do you see this Hay chart right here? This is the Hay chart, okay? I'm holding it up to the camera. The Hay chart. 2 Y's, one Y in the Hay chart means friends. 2 Y's in the hate chart means I think I like you. Anthony used 2 Y's. 3 Y's is take the hint, dumbass. 4 Y's is less F. And 5 Y's is I'm drunk. Okay? He had 2 Y's and 2 O's. Therefore, Anthony Woody is admitting A, he likes kids because it's 2 Y's, and the 2 O's, if he's facing a mandatory minimum of 15 years and 30 in federal prison, I think he should actually get 20. He should get 20 for each Y, so that's 40. Then he should get 14 and a half years for each O, which brings him to a grand total of 69 years in prison, which I think is very appropriate for this offense. Please let Remy Ma give Anthony Woody the biggest hee-haw.
Hee-haw, hee-haw. You stupid motherfucker. Are you dumb?
Some sick people in this world, especially in Florida.
All right. Well, shout out to our newest family member, Tampa, Florida. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Tampa. How are you?
Welcome to the family. Welcome to the club.
Just out here waiting for y'all to slip up. I know it's coming. I know it's coming.
Just want to say good morning.
I know it's coming.
All right. Now, thank you for that donkey of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we come back, we have head coach of the New York Knicks, Tom Thibodeau, joining us. You know, he was an assistant coach for the Spurs, the 76ers, the Knicks back in the day, the Rockets. He was also head coach for the Celtics, Bulls, Minnesota Timberwolves, and now he's back as head coach of the New York Knicks.
And all I would tell is, I would say all NBA fans, you know what I'm saying? You can always appreciate, you know, an interview from a coach or a player. I know a lot of America is like, I don't give a damn about the coach of the New York Knicks, but the New York Knicks have not been in the playoffs in 8 years.
8 years, correct.
This is a big deal. Tom Thibodeau is absolutely positively the NBA coach of the year. If he's not, who? And we're talking to him when we come back.
All right, so don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Back.
You're checking out the world's most dangerous morning show.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We have a special guest on the line.
That's right, the NBA Coach of the Year, and it's not even close. If it's not Tom T, then who is it?
That's right, and Tom Thibodeau is here. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
First, I just want to say thank you for years being a New York Knicks fan. We've been broke. Our hearts have been broken. It's been hard to watch. Finally, we got a good team, and you guys are playing some great ball, and you're coaching some great young men. So let's first talk about why did you want to come to New York when you decided to come to New York? Because New York was bad for a long time.
Yeah, so I grew up in Connecticut, and my dad was a Knicks fan. So I came to the Garden when I was a young kid. And then in the 90s, I had an opportunity to be an assistant coach under Jeff Van Gundy and with those great teams with Patrick Ewing and Allen Houston, Latrell Sprewell, Larry Johnson. So I saw what it was like. And, you know, and I go way back to the 70s with, you know, Willis Reed and Walt Frazier and that team. And, you know, I know what the game means to the city, what the Knicks mean to New York City. So growing up like that, then having an opportunity to be here in the 90s, I was excited when this opportunity came up. And You know, if you're a kid that grows up in Connecticut, I had an opportunity to be with Boston in 2008, and then, of course, being here. Doesn't get much better than that, but there's no place like New York City.
Did you have any reservations about taking the Knicks job because of the reputation of the owner, James Dolan?
No, I didn't, because in the 90s, towards the end of that time, it's when he initially bought the team. And right from that, and I was an assistant coach, and it was a brief period of time, but he treated me great as an assistant coach. And I always felt through the years, Jim Dolan always provided resources for the team. So I knew he would be a great owner to be with. And then, of course, having Leon Rose and Worldwide West, William Wesley, those are two of my best friends. So it doesn't get much better than that. I knew the support would be there. And then, of course, just having the group of guys that we have an unbelievable team. I have a great coaching staff that's with me, and it's been very enjoyable for me.
Yeah, when you wanted to bring Derrick Rose back, what were the thoughts? Because I'm sure people were like, but he's proved to be a great asset to the team. Yeah, no, and Derrick's special. And so I had an opportunity to be with him in Chicago. He's the youngest MVP in the history of the league. Right. And unfortunately, his injuries derailed him for a period of time. He had gone through 3 consecutive years of rehab, and that's very difficult to do. 1 year for a pro athlete is very difficult. But to be able to go through that and then come out on the other side, and if you really studied his career, even the time that he was here in New York before, when he's healthy, Derrick Rose has always played well. He gets busy. Derrick's a winner. He's a winner. He's a team first guy. He's always been a great teammate. I think he and Taj have been great for us just because of the way they've won their entire careers, their playoff experience, veteran leadership. And I felt that we needed that here. So just to build a foundation and to get it going right, they've been a huge asset for us.
You know, you talked about Worldwide West and, you know, of course yourself. What do you think is the biggest attributes y'all have brought to the Knicks that have changed the culture? Because that's what I see with the Knicks. I see a culture change. What do you think that biggest attribute is?
I think it's everyone being aligned, from the owner to Leon. Leon's very pragmatic. And then there's only one Worldwide West, and he's a great relationship builder. He's got connections with everyone, and it's made it a lot of fun. And I think our players feel the connection between everyone, so everyone's on the same page. We're all working towards the same goal. Everyone's willing to sacrifice and put the team first. And that's what you need to be successful in this league.
You know, I need you to be honest with me here, Coach. When you looked at what you had on paper at the beginning of the season, did you say, okay, we got something here, or did you say, oh,
No, I was excited about the opportunity just because I felt strongly about the Knicks and Leon and Wes. And then when I first got hired, I'll tell you a funny story. I asked Julius to come in just to spend some time with him. It was during the pandemic. I think the next day he jumped on a flight and he came up here. And so we had a chance to spend like 3 or 4 days together, and I worked him out myself. And when he got here, I was just really impressed with the type of shape that he was in, because it was in the middle of the pandemic, very difficult to go anywhere to work out or work on your game. And I could see, you always have preconceived notions of what a player's like when having coached against them. But then once I got to know him and I saw the conditioning that he had, the work that he had put in, and I also noticed that his shot was different and he was really shooting the ball well. So I could tell that he had put a lot of time into it. And if you can recall, the Knicks weren't part of the bubble last year. So he maximized that time to work on his game. And after those 4 days, I knew that he could be the leader that we needed. And I could recall back to the 90s. I remember when I first got hired, Patrick Ewing was our best player. And he was the first guy in. He was in unbelievable shape, great work capacity. And obviously, when you combine that with talent, that's the best leadership you could have. And so when I saw the way Julius was approaching it and how committed he was to getting this thing turned around, I felt we would have a good chance.
All right, we got more with the New York Knicks head coach, Tom Thibodeau. When we come back, don't move. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. We have New York Knicks head coach, clinching a playoff berth for the first time in 8 years. Tom Thibodeau joining us. Now, Charlamagne?
How good is Julius Randle, Coach?
You know, the thing that impresses me the most is when you look at the numbers, they're staggering. But there are players that get numbers that don't impact winning. And Julius has had a monster season, but the way he's impacted winning has changed everything for us. And so the challenge, I think, for a great player in this league is not only to bring the best out of themselves, but to bring the best out of the group. And he's done that. And I said, like I said, the best thing that he does is the example that he sets each and every day. It's not really the things that he's saying. It's more the things that he's doing, the way he works in each practice, the way he prepares himself. All that stuff goes a long way. When your best player does that, then everyone follows. When you look at a guy like R.J. Barrett, and he's only 20 years old, and the way he's playing and the way he's growing, I think he's going to be a special player in this league.
You know, Julius Randle's been getting a lot of MVP chants. Who is your vote for MVP? Would you vote for Julius for MVP this year?
That's my personal vote. I can tell you that. So, you know, and I think it's hard. There's a number of guys, obviously, you can make a case for, but in terms of impact on a team, for me, it's Julius. And, you know, and I know the thing that I love about him is he wants to continue to get better. He's not satisfied. And I think all the great ones have that in them. That's every year they want to add to their game. And so, you know, I'm biased. He's ours, but I love him.
Now, let me ask you, do you think the league is getting too soft? You know, because you talked about a time where you said Patrick Ewing, Anthony Mason, Charles Oakley, the league was tough. Now the league seems really soft, and you can, you know what, Val, let me go instant replay and look in the camera and see if it will. Like, that's kind of, I don't know if I like that too much.
No, but, you know, the thing is, and when you think about the NBA game, it's constantly changing. You know, there's different styles. The 90s were different. The 80s were high scoring. The early 2000s were different. The rule changes brought more skill and speed into the game, and so it's probably geared more towards offense. But when you really look at it, the same things go into winning. It's commitment to excel on both sides of the ball, to be willing to sacrifice, to be strong on offense, strong on defense, to share the ball, and those are the teams that advance in the playoffs. So. I think you always begin with the end in mind, and know you got to have the things that you believe in. You know, I think work, discipline, playing for each other, it's all the same.
You know, I was wondering, because, you know, Envy mentioned the veterans just now. Did you have conversations with Dolan about the way they've treated, you know, New York Knicks legends like Oakley and Ewing in the Garden? Like, because I think relationships with those veterans would be important. Did y'all have conversations about that?
I was here during the 90s, and I saw how great it was, so I knew it could be great. And I always felt like with Jim, whatever you ask for, and he's been phenomenal with us. Whatever we've asked for, he's given us. And that's where I think guys like Leon and Wes are so good, because that's their whole careers. That's what they've been. They've been connectors. They bring the best out of people. You know, I know we have a rich tradition here. I think there's a few teams in the NBA that are totally different. I know what the Knicks mean to New York City. I know what the Bulls mean to Chicago, and obviously what the Lakers mean to LA. And I think that when you look at this, the players that we've had here, and you see guys like Walt and Allen Houston, part of the organization, we know we have a tradition, and we're going to make sure that it's right.
You know, people always say the NBA is better when the Knicks are winning. Why is that true?
Well, I think, you know, as they say, you know, it's the Mecca of basketball, the arena. I know from having been here, from being on an opposing team, I know how players feel when they come in and play in the Garden. There's only one Madison Square Garden, and it's the best place in the world to play. And it's a city that loves basketball, and they love their Knicks, and so hopefully we can give them something to be proud of. But this is a special place. You guys have been around here. You know what it's like, and when there's big games in the Garden, there's nothing like it.
Well, I got two more questions for you, Coach. One is, will the Nets ever matter as much as the Knicks in New York?
I don't know. You guys would have to answer that. I think there's a lot of great stories. I know growing up in Connecticut and following the Knicks forever, and just when you travel around to all the different cities, there's Knicks fans in every arena, and so I think that the Knicks have a special place in New Yorkers' hearts.
Yeah, I think the answer is no. I'm being honest. I think that y'all going to the playoffs this year seems to me a bigger story. Like, unless the Nets win it all.
You know, every team feels their team is special, but I think in terms of the league in New York, you know, I think the interest in the Knicks has always been high, whether it's been good or bad. The interest is always there. I think, like many people, you grow up and, you know, you hear stories all the time about, you know, someone's father, someone's uncle, someone's brother took them to a game, and that's how they became a Knicks fan. You know, and I know that holds true for me. But just walking around and seeing all the familiar faces, I mean, there are a lot of people that are still here that were here from the 90s, and I think that's what makes it special.
How did you feel when you heard Zion Williamson say how much he loves playing in the Garden?
Well, I think he was speaking the truth. You know, as I said, I know when I was in Chicago or Minnesota or Boston and coming in here, or Houston, you know, you come in and you can tell how fired up your players are. You know, you make a good basketball play in the Garden, the fans recognize that. And it's the atmosphere, it's the passion for the game. It's all those things. So I think every player in this league loves playing in Madison Square Garden.
What's the best team in New York?
That's a tough one.
That ain't tough. You're supposed to say the Knicks. What do you mean?
No, it's like you got to answer honestly.
You know, I got to believe that it's our team, you know, because that's what I do believe, you know, and I think if you ask a number of people, they would say it's their team. And as I told our players at the beginning of the season, it really doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. It only matters what we think, what we think we can do. And so, and I know I got a special group of guys. We have a special group of guys here. They put everything they have into each and every day, and they've sacrificed a lot. And our focus has been on daily improvement, and that's where it'll remain. And we want to keep driving until we get what we ultimately want.
And what's the most challenging team you guys are going to have to face that you faced already this year and that you know it's going to be a challenge? Is there any one team that you say, okay, that team is a tough one?
Yeah, Atlanta.
Atlanta?
Because that's the next one.
That's right. That's right.
No, and that's really been our approach all year, is just focus on exactly what's in front of us. And this league is challenging because it's very easy to get distracted. If you look backwards or you look ahead, you're going to miss being focused on what is exactly in front of you. So I think that's important for us to understand what goes into winning each and every day.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, congrats, Coach.
Yes.
You know, got to salute you on everything that the Knicks have done this year. I mean, it's a big, big, big accomplishment. You know, New York has been suffering. Knicks fans have been suffering for 8 years. So just to see y'all in the playoffs and playing hard, y'all being every game, you know, that's a testament to the defensive-minded, you know, mentality you brought to the squad. So congrats to you, Worldwide West, and the whole gang over there, man.
All right. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
All right, Tom. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Did you thank the coach of the New York Knicks, Tom Thibodeau, for coming on the Breakfast Club this morning? The Knicks are in the playoff for the first time in 8 years. Salute to the Knicks. And if you've been listening to the Breakfast Club for years, you know DJ Envy's mouth and his brain aren't always on the same page. So what do you mean? We're trying to figure out exactly what he was telling Coach Thibodeau this morning. Play this drum, play it.
Yep.
Finally, we got some great ball, some great young men.
I don't know what he was saying.
Definitely chopped that up.
I don't know what he was saying.
Finally, you're coaching some great ball in New York with some fine young men.
I don't know what you were saying.
That's what I said. You cut up my audio.
I didn't do anything.
I said ball as in basketball, and he's coaching some.
I just don't want to assume. So
I
don't want to assume what you said. So I just want people to tweet us what they think you said. Play it one more time.
What do you think I said?
Play one more time. Play it one more time.
Finally, we got some great ball, some great young men. Obviously, you can hear the cut. You can hear the cut,
bro. I don't know, bro.
I'm out here in Cabo trying to mind my business, and you trying to. What do you think I'm talking about, then, sir?
I don't know. I don't want to assume.
You know what? Let's get to the rumors. I hate you.
Listen up.
It's just in. All the gossip. The Rumor Report. Gossip. With Angela Yee.
It's the Rumor Report.
The Breakfast Club.
All right, Snoop Dogg is working on 2 series for Peacock. One of them is a sports news show with Kevin Hart. That should be pretty fun to watch. He's also doing a series about the world's dumbest criminals. So, Yes, 2 new shows. Peacock is really shaping up nicely.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg is really shaping up nicely. What can Snoop Dogg not do? Okay? Anything Snoop Dogg is added to absolutely positively gets better.
All right. Now, Lamar Odom was recently talking on Good Morning America on how he has managed to stay sober, and he does credit this drug with helping him.
Call it the healthy high. I've been doing it for like 2 years now. I'm scheduled to take another one on Friday.
How many times have you tried to treat what you were dealing with?
Several times. You know, I went to rehab and did some other things, but ketamine came into my life at the right time. I'm feeling amazing. I'm alive, sober, I'm happy.
I don't know anything about ketamine. Is there such thing as a healthy drug? Is ketamine a healthy drug? I don't know.
Is it a horse tranquilizer?
I know it's something people use for depression, but I mean, I didn't.
I'm not sure. And how do you know that, Dramos? Okay, no, you don't have to answer.
Not
that.
me. I had no friends.
Yeah,
I thought.
Sure.
Yeah, I thought they used it for like anesthesia and stuff like that. Am I tripping? I don't know.
I thought so too.
Listen, it's the only thing that's been working for him. So let's hope that the cure is not as dangerous as.
I'm not going to put that out there. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
you might need it for your Wi-Fi though, Yee.
Whatever treatment you get for that.
Shout out to Brooklyn and Optimum, who I've been talking to 20,000 times in the past 2 days. Are we working?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. Now, Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. They have confirmed a date for August, and that is going to be in Saudi Arabia, Saturday, August 14th.
No, that just got bumped.
What we're looking at.
That just got bumped for Deontay Wilder.
I just saw that yesterday.
Nah, that just got bumped for Deontay Wilder. That's the story. Deontay Wilder.
That's right. Break the news.
I say my rumor report. Between you and the producer.
Guys, who's fighting? Can y'all tell me who's fighting? Is it Floyd? Is it who's fighting? Deontay? Who's fighting?
I don't know. Right now, it looks like it should be Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. So by a judge's ruling in July, and Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury are supposed to fight in November.
Yeah, yesterday a judge ruled in mediation that Deontay Wilder has a right to face Fury for a third time before September 15th.
Yes,
so
July 24th.
There's all these issues with the contract, and then there was the COVID-19 pandemic, and they were looking for alternatives. So we'll see.
Yes, July 24th at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, according to promoter Bob Arum, will be the trilogy between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, it's been reserved, the Allegiant Stadium. So I'm not sure. Is this absolutely confirmed or is it just reserved? You don't know. But yes,
Bob Arum said it's going down. He would know.
All right. Well, let's see, because I'm looking at BBC Sport and they're saying that it's reserved. So, listen, what would you rather see?
I think Wilder deserves his rematch against Tyson Fury, and then if whoever wins that should fight Anthony Joshua in the fall.
All right. And DMX, if you guys have seen his last and final interview that was uncensored, DMX is a 2-part docuseries. It started on Sunday on TV One. And in the first installment, he was talking about a situation where it feels like he saw an angel. Here's what he had to say after he got hit by a car. When he was young, he ran into the street, he got hit by a car, and here's what happened.
Car hit me, knocked me right on the other side of the street, up under another car. I was so worried about getting ass whooping, I was trying to get up. I'm like, no. This white lady with a clipboard, was like, lay down. So I just lay down there, and the people started, covering me, give me a hoodie or a pillow, whatever.
Now I'm panicking. I go downstairs, he laying in the street.
Like, I didn't see the lady no more. And you would think that she'd have stuck around because she saw the whole thing. I felt like it was an angel. She had no business being in the hood with a fucking clipboard.
Wow. You ever felt like you seen an angel?
All the time.
Talking about Envy?
All the time.
Whenever he looks at DJ Envy.
Never.
What's wrong with y'all guys this morning? Jeez.
That is your rumor report.
You guys are kinky and freaky all together. All right. Well, thank you for that rumor report. I miss you
while you're in Cabo.
I see.
You the one sitting there in a white robe with no drawers on.
How do you know?
First of all, I want to say Tamika Mallory's State of Emergency, How to Win in the Country We Built is out right now, available everywhere you buy books, okay? Thank you to everybody who's been supporting. It's the first release off Black Privilege Publishing, which is my book in print, okay?
All right.
That's how you segue from Envy's boss.
Basketball. All right. Now, shout to Revolt. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Everybody else, the People's Choice Mix is up next.
Did you just say that MB has an imprint?
Can y'all stop?
My Wi-Fi went out.
All right. Y'all think it's all funny till I go to Human Resources. And all right.
First of all, I don't want to hear nothing about Human Resources when you sitting up there in a white robe with your legs open all morning long. Okay? That's inappropriate.
All right. Yo, you guys are kinky. I hate you. All right, the People's Choice Mix is up next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Your mornings will never be the same.
With the new Audible Plus plan, audiobooks are just the beginning. With Audible Plus, you can listen all you want to thousands of included Audible originals, popular podcasts, and more. All in one place. Sign up for a 30-day free trial at audible.com/breakfast club.
WWPR FM HD1 New York.
An iHeartRadio station.
Let me put a little bit of the Breakfast Club up in your lifestyle.
DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God.
You all rocking with the best.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. I ain't gonna lie, man. I could get used to doing Zoom calls from the beach, man. I've been handling my car show stuff, the one in Atlantic City and the one in Atlanta. You can get your tickets now. It will sell out. But I'm not mad at being at the Hard Rock and being at the beach all day. Like, this is great.
If I was a listener, I wouldn't listen to you. Last thing I want to do is hear you enjoying yourself at the goddamn beach when I'm on my way to work. Okay,
bro, this is my first vacation in 2 years.
I don't give a damn. I don't want to hear about you having a good time.
Okay. It's cold out here.
There you go.
It's rainy. It's nasty. This is miserable. I can't stand it. I got sunburn. This is bad.
That's right.
You don't look burned.
What?
All I heard somebody say she got burned.
Yo, Yee's Wi-Fi is trash. It's hard. I don't even understand how the Wi-Fi in Mexico, in Cabo, is better than the Wi-Fi in Brooklyn. That can't make sense.
Really? You don't understand why the Wi-Fi in Brooklyn is so terrible? It's been an issue.
No, I don't. But anyway. All right. When we come back, positive notice, The Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. Now, shout to Tom Thibodeau for joining us this morning.
Yeah, salute to Tom Thibodeau, coach of the New York Knicks. The Knicks are the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference this year. First time they've been in the playoffs in 8 years. And salute to Queen Nina Turner. That's one of my leaders, man. Mm-hmm. Nina Turner is running for Congress in Ohio, so make sure you go out there and vote for her when early voting starts. NinaTurner.com, and make sure you donate the Queen Nina Turner that she's running for Congress. And listen, I want to salute my homegirl, man, Ashley De La Mode from the UK. She comes to New York City all the time. She's been coming to New York City a lot over the years, and she just shows a lot of love to me. I show a lot of love to her. We homies. And yesterday, just out of the blue, she sent me a text and some pictures and a video, and just randomly, so nonchalantly, said, hey, me and my team got you a billboard in Times Square because we are proud of you for getting your honorary doctorate. Drop one of the clues bombs for Ashley De La Mode. I didn't even know I had friends like that do stuff like that. But find you some friends that just randomly get you a billboard in Times Square because they are proud of your accomplishments. Thank you, Ashley. That really meant a lot. More than you know.
That is dope.
That is dope. It was unbelievable. I was like, what? But thank you, Ashley. I really appreciate it.
We should pitch in and get Envy a billboard. What would be on it?
I really don't know. What did he say to Tom Thibodeau this morning? Dramos, play that clip, Dramos.
We can do.
I like that clip.
Yeah, we could do a billboard on the book I have coming out, or maybe my car shows.
No,
the fact that I'm just a great guy.
No, I like the playing with young men way better.
We know you do.
I want you in the robe.
Let's just take that. What do you like to do?
I like the picture Envy in the robe with the shades, with just the caption underneath. Play with young men, fine young men. That's what I like.
That's what you like. I'm sure that's what you like.
That's what you told Tom this morning. Play it again, Dramos.
Finally, we got some great ball, some great young men. I can't with y'all. Can you leave us on a positive note, please?
I sure can. Speaking of young men, my man Jason Wilson from Detroit, man. Salute to Jason, great brother who's always out there doing the work in regards to keeping our young men mentally and emotionally healthy. I saw Jason post yesterday, the hardest thing for a man to do is deal with himself, to introspectively confront his own emotional pain and trauma so he can stop unjustly inflicting it on others.
Breakfast Club, bitches!
We all finished or y'all done? We all finished or y'all done? We all finished or y'all done? We all finished or y'all done?